Subject: Ship Hedulina. Species: Oricari. Description: reptilian humanoid, no tail. 5'3", 1.6 meter average height. 135 pounds, 61 kilogram average weight. 105-year life expectancy. Ship: RSV Loalana. Fights with honor. Location: Alira 2. I had warned the Thanatos that there may be delays in communicating with them because of our first contact protocols, but I still felt a certain sense of unease. I let the aliens get my hopes up about our war with the OU. If they help us, we're damn near certain to win. But certain anxieties were haunting me now that I wasn't with them anymore. What if the United Systems decides to just go home? What if our diplomat messes things up with them and they declare war? What if they mess things up with the diplomat and we declare war? Ship Hedulina, this is Station Master Nixt. Please respond. The hell saved me from further spiraling. This is Ship Hedulina, I replied. You have clearance to dock at Repair Bay 2. Your special guests will be escorted to their quarters and your shipments will be delivered, Nixt said. Please come see me when you have a chance. Understood. Ship Hedulina out. I hated the code words for injured and dead, and most places didn't use them anymore. It's only out-of-the-way stations that still use them. I remember being told that they had originally been used to avoid a panic in case civilians were listening in on the comms. That would make sense, except that civilians have the right to access, so they get to see our casualty counts in near real time. R2A has been around forever, so it was hard to imagine this crap was just a relic. Crown was injured and Ullis, his off-shift, was dead, so I was manning the nav console. If it were standard maneuvers or even standard docking, pretty much any crewman would have been able to handle it. Internal docking is a bit more difficult. In theory, the computer knows where the dock is, and where the ship is, and where the clamps are supposed to go. In practice, it's usually off by an inch or two. This can cause damage to the ship and to the dock, so the pilot has to know where the ship is, and where the dock is, and where the clamps are supposed to go, and make sure the computer doesn't fuck it up. It has been a few years, but it was still muscle memory. The computer was a tad too deep and had overcorrected our yaw, so I input the corrections and slowly docked the lower Lana. Come to think of it, it hadn't even been docked in the USSS Thanatos. It had been grabbed and scooped up, but still felt wrong at a very deep level. Attention all crew, I said into the intercom. We are officially docked at Uatona 3 in the Alira 2 system. While we're docked, we're off duty, but you must remain aboard the ship. I want you all on your best behaviour. If you're good, it will be easier to get some shore leave approved. A cheer ran through the ship. Sure, they had just had a fantastic adventure aboard the Thanatos, and the Uatona was likely to pale in comparison, but cheering at shore leave is tradition. I will be meeting with the station master as the repair crew comes aboard. Stay out of their way so we can have FTL back. I smiled as I paused for dramatic effect. Dismissed. Another cheer ran through the ship. I advised Luna that he had command and went to the airlock. As I walked down the gangway, I felt relieved that it wasn't a plastic tube and had gravity, unlike the last time I had exited the vessel. A Noyan engineer was waiting for me with a salute. Permission to board, shiphead? She asked. Permission granted. Fix her up good, you hear? I smiled and returned the salute. Yes, sir, she said, and moved to let me pass. I got my bearings and found the exit into the station proper. As I walked, I wondered where my escort could be. Surely Nixt didn't expect me to just wander the station until I found him. I looked around and saw Duliki running toward me. I stopped and waited for him. Are you the shiphead? He asked between breaths. Yes, I'm Ship Hedulina. Nice to meet you. I paused, waiting for an introduction. Blenus, I'm with Intel, but we don't have a big star, so I'm the errand boy today. Do you mind if we relax a moment? I've been running for a while, he said, as he doubled over and rested his hands on his knees. I nodded, and we waited for him to catch his breath. Once he was finished, he gestured for me to follow him. He gave me an abridged tour of the station that was limited to the path we had to take. He explained what each place was and gave a brief history about it. Once we were outside the station master's office, he turned to me. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but Nixt is a Kinran, he whispered. He's very nice though, don't be afraid. I've said with Kinran before, it won't be a problem, I said with a smile. It was a pretty fair warning. The Kinran would startle anyone who wasn't used to them, and some who were. It almost felt like they shouldn't be able to move the way that they do. They're a perfect case of why you shouldn't judge solely on appearance, because the majority of them were very polite and shy. As a matter of fact, a Kinran commander was a novelty. In a way it made sense, because they could file paperwork faster than most commanders could, Their compound eyes and 10 arms made it a breeze for them. Unfortunately, their personality often conflicted with the duties of command, namely telling people what to do when they don't want to do it, and disciplinary action. You also don't see them in soldier positions. Even though they could field more weaponry, the thought of taking another's life was often too much for them. Belinus nodded and ushered me inside. Nixt was sitting behind a circular desk designed to make the most of his limbs. The station master gestured for me to sit, and Belinus left us to talk. "Hello, Shiphead Alina. Nice to meet you in person," he said. "The feeling is mutual, Station Master Nixt," I said, wondering how he was going to broach the subject at hand. "Let's talk about the aliens." That was blunt. "Yes," I said. "First, the ship is called the USS Thanatos, and it is a carrier." "A carrier of what?" he asked. "A carrier of other spacefaring vessels, specifically 10 frigates. They also consider it to be their diplomatic vessel." 10 frigates?" he asked. His limbs and mandibles twitched nervously. That was the only way you could tell that a Kinran was shocked, aside from their voice. They don't have eyelids or eyebrows to raise. You also couldn't tell where they were looking, because they were looking everywhere. Compound eyes. "Yes, they come in peace though. Their war vessels are much more terrifying," I said, remembering what I had seen. "I take it they are a very advanced race?" Nick said. "Races, there are multiple. The second thing is that they represent another galactic governing entity known as the United Systems." "There's another republic?" His limbs twitched even more frequently. "I'm not sure if the US is a republic or not. I know they have multiple governing agencies, one of which is called the Directorate. They run the military. One of the directors is aboard the Thanatos and will be handling first contact," I said, knowing what the reaction would be. "The military handles their first contact?" he asked in a shrill voice. I was going to give this poor Kinran heart failure. "Yes, but they have good reason for that. Their side of the galaxy is a little bit harsher than ours, and they've had to fight for survival very hard. I assure you that they come in peace, and if we play our cards right, they'll help us with the Omni Union. They've already begun planning an invasion of OU space." He held up 8 of his limbs to stop me. Okay, hold on. Before you continue, I want you to know that I brought you up here to ask you for a favour." "What would that be?" I asked with a genuine confusion. "First Contact Protocol dictates that any meetings done with aliens must involve a Republic diplomat, and whoever governs the system that the meeting takes place in, meaning me." He paused. "I am a Kinran, and we're known for our off-putting appearance and timid nature, the exact opposite of what you want in a diplomat." I nodded my understanding. "The thing is, there is a provision that exempts Kinran from this duty for that reason, so the duty falls to whomever I elect it to. I want you to do it," Nick said, as he gestured to me with 2 limbs. "I am not in your chain of command, Station Master," I said. "I know, and I would have my intel head to do it, but I want her on scanners just in case something terrible happens. I've already cleared it with the Diplomatic Corps. Since you're not under my command, I'm asking rather than telling, though." He twiddled his limbs nervously. "Yeah, okay, I'll do it. They already know me quite well, so it shouldn't be a problem," I said, consigned to my fate. I never, ever, in all of my life wanted to be a diplomat. "Thank you." He jumped forward and shook my hand. I managed to suppress my natural reaction at this, and shook his grasper. As he took his seat again, he said, Good. The diplomat will be here in 2 days. Should we quarantine part of the station and grant the aliens access?" "The Thanatos has very good amenities and is well stocked. They'll likely decline an invitation to the station. They want a truce as much as we need one, and less can go wrong if they remain aboard their ship. Still, it wouldn't be a bad idea to extend an invitation to show peaceful intentions. They know how freaked out we are by their tech and ways." Nix nodded and said, "Gotcha. Alright, we'll extend an invitation and see. Also, Command wants a full report from you as soon as possible. They're willing to forgo a full debrief in light of the present circumstances, but they still need their paperwork." "Understood. I'll do it as soon as I can." Nix gave me the unnerving Kinran equivalent of a smile. "So, Shiphead, tell me about what happened." "Alright. We were sent to investigate some warp fluctuations." I began my tale.